Hello everyone and welcome back to My First Mon. It's Season 2, we're doing Crystal. I'm one of your hosts, Jack Martin, alongside the Pokemon Master himself, Christian Buckley.
Hello, how you feeling, Jack? How you doing? We're back, it's week 2, a new journey has begun. Feels good.
That's right, I'm doing good. I'll say at the beginning of the show, I have a fun little surprise for this episode. Something that happened along the way.
Man, I have a feeling about what it might be, and if it is, I'm going to be blown away.
It's pretty wild.
Okay.
But we'll get into that a little bit later.
We will.
If you don't know, though, until last year, I never played a Pokemon game. So, under Christian's guidance, I played through Pokemon Blue while he played through Pokemon Red, and we documented that experience right here on this very podcast. For this season, though, we're both running through Pokemon Crystal, and each episode is going to focus on the lead up to and through a particular gym. The show releases every Monday. You can find it in audio versions like on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can also find the video version on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, JoyClicks is pretty close to the 2,000 subscriber mark. I was looking up the stats recently, so if you can go over and subscribe on JoyClicks, that would make us very happy. We also want some more community involvement for this season, so we're asking for fan submissions for some art. You can send that to myfirstmon@gmail.com. It can be about anything. I was thinking, Christian, maybe doing a particular challenge or a particular topic that we can all draw something about.
That
we
could
can
be
discuss
interesting.
that maybe later in the show. But aside from that, we also have a Patreon at JoyClicks. The $1 level will get you early access to each episode, and at the $2 level, you can name my Pokemon in my party, which is just good fun. So if you're generous enough to do that, please go over and name my Pokemon. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Two little details for the early access. It's usually Saturday or Sunday, public on Monday for everybody. And then, oh, you know what? I'll shout this out too. We've been doing premieres. So the way it's been working is when it drops on Monday on YouTube, been doing a live premiere of the episode, and I'm just hanging out in the chat, talking to people about the show, behind the scenes stuff, little factoids about either the recording session. Last week's was good. I was like, hey, there was a problem with the AC and water spilled all over my floor. So if you want those insights, we do it live on Mondays.
Yeah, definitely. And we're pretty responsive to all the YouTube comments as well, and we like seeing a lot because it's pretty active, like YouTube comments for each episode. So that's really nice.
Yeah, the viewers of this show are amazing, and
absolutely
because of that, we feature their insight on the show weekly. You know, we did it in season 1, and I realized that doing text-based corrections was unfair to the audio people. So this season. We're doing corrections on the show. So, if you watch the JoyClicks Gamescast, you're aware we do patch notes where it's just corrections. Here, we're doing trainer tips, but it is, again, just corrections.
Right.
So if you're listening on audio or wherever and we get something wrong, you want to give some insight, leave it on YouTube. I'll pull it for the next episode. But, first off, from Regal Beartick, Pallet Town is a simple name because of course you and I went back and forth about how New Bark was a cooler name. Because all the cities in Gen 1 are based on colors, you know, like Viridian, Vermilion, Cerulean, Pewter, like we picked up on that naming trend in season 1. Palette, like a color wheel, like a color palette. That's why it's called Pallet Town.
That was a cool little observation. It is spelled differently, but that's nice. Yeah, I feel like everything's a pun in these games.
It really is. This is just a general update. This was a question you and I had. The TV movie, you know, season 1, Red and Blue, it was Stand By Me, of course.
Yeah.
Yet again, another coming-of-age story. 2 people sitting on a train looking at the stars. The Outsiders, like Ponyboy, Stay Gold.
Yeah, Ponyboy and Johnny. I believe that's who they were referring to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. It's been a while since my 8th grade reading of it for my English class. So.
Next up, from the JoyClicks Discord, from Neon Rider Arya, Season 1 vet, The time capsule that you had a question about in the upstairs of the Pokemon Center is actually what allows you to trade with Gen 1 Pokemon. So if you want to get your Blastoise, you have to use the time capsule and trade it up to Pokemon Crystal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
good to know.
I don't think the time capsule thing ever came back. Normally, from my experience with upgrading Pokemon and like transferring them to a new generation, it's like with the DS that had the Game Boy and the DS card slot, it was like, okay, have them both in at the same time, and then the Game Boy cart would like dump them in a park, and then you go to that park in the DS game and you catch them there.
I see.
And lastly, from TS Phoenix, just kind of an opinion, but worth mentioning, worth bringing up. Gen 2's pacing is very different to Gen 1's pacing, and a big part of this is where Gen 1 only has a few optional locations. In Gen 2, optional activities make up a good amount of the game's content, and as such, I worry doing a one episode per gym format might compel you, Jack, to play the game in a more rushed manner than what might be best to enjoy Crystal.
Yeah. That's a really good observation.
Yeah, it's a good point. Again, I don't know Gen 2 as well as Gen 1, and I think in these first 2 weeks, I've definitely noticed that where Gen 1 was sort of like side quest, then the gym, this is much more of like a, hey, this town exists, this thing exists as a side objective, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, and we'll get into it in this episode. There are like some side things that I'll go and do. Some of them are like kind of mandatory, which I guess wouldn't make them side quests. And then there's another thing that will happen this episode where I try to do it and I don't really end up doing it because it doesn't really hold my attention.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, and we can always be a little bit more organic with each episode. Doesn't necessarily have to be a gym.
Yeah.
Could be like halfway leading up to a gym, something like that. So yeah, we'll definitely experiment with that. And we did a little bit in season 1. I guess it was the penultimate, or maybe the last episode was focusing on the Elite Four, so it wasn't necessarily a gym. But yeah, we can definitely be more organic, and yeah, we appreciate that. That's a good. That's a good comment to know.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we're open to it. We'll see how it goes. I think most often in season 1 and so far in season 2, the gameplay sessions have been a couple hours. You know, like, so it's still a consistent amount of time, even if it's not hitting XYZ in the story in terms of accomplishments, but we can definitely adapt if we need to.
For sure. But Christian, if that'll do it, do you want to just get right into it?
Yes, please. You have some exciting stuff apparently this week, so I'm excited to hear.
Big time. But let me hit you with that current party, Christian. We got my Geodude at level 12. We got a Quilava at level 14. My Ghastly's a level 7. Poliwag's level 9. And Bellsprout is a level 5. This is my current party as of what I'm talking about right now, where I picked up from episode 1.
Gotcha.
If you remember, I was told to go to the Violet City Pokemon Center. And Elm was telling me to go there, meet up with his aide. So I do. And he asked me to take this egg. And the aide's telling me that they're telling me that a Pokemon won't hatch until it grows in the egg, and also has to be near active Pokemon to hatch.
Yes.
Did this happen in Gen 1, or is this totally new?
This is new.
Okay.
Remember how in episode 1 you were bewildered by the idea that Pokemon birth has never been witnessed, and this Professor Elm,
right,
was again bewildered by the sight of an egg from a Pokemon.
Yeah, quote unquote professional.
Yeah, this hack. This is new. This is like how we were talking about baby Pokemon like Pichu. This game introduces a aspect of the Pokemon meta that has existed since this game, and some people only care about this. Pokemon breeding. So, I don't think we're gonna really have many opportunities to talk about that in this game, but essentially, what Pokemon breeding does is you put 2 Pokemon in a daycare, and the daycare is like, okay, we'll slowly level them. They won't level as fast as they would if you were actually training them. But if you put compatible Pokemon in, and again, they introduce genders in this one, you will receive a Pokemon egg, and then you can breed for, like, perfect stats, the best natures, stuff like that, and people get obsessive about it. So.
Interesting. Now, we're getting into some controversial topics here about breeding.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one. I don't know if that would sit right with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never messed with it, you know, like, it's kind of above my head, the way I look at Pokemon, and I think the way you've looked at it so far is very much like, I catch my team that I like, I want to strengthen them, because I view them as individual beings in this world, and I respect them and what they lend to the team.
Right.
And the story of that narrative, rather than, like, breed for the ultimate team. Like, that feels like it goes so much against, like, what your character's role in Pokemon is, you know?
Yeah, I like the idea of finding Pokemon and then training them and leveling them up, like what we've been doing. I don't really like messing with... I don't like the idea of sort of messing with breeding. Ugh, kind of sounds nasty to me. Like,
yeah, it does.
Kind of doesn't ruin the experience for me, but it's just like... I like the idea of starting low and then working and progressing forward.
Yeah. Definitely.
But, you know, he tells me that, he gives me this egg, tells me to call Elm when it hatches, so, and I'll leave it in my party, because it has to be an interactive Pokemon, so I assume I have to leave it in my party, so that's what I do.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, like, taking up a slot on an egg that you don't even know what's coming out of it?
It's fine right now, especially since I'm in the beginning of the game, and I'm not even really using all of my Pokemon in my party. Like, I'll eventually take out Ghastly. I'll get there, but, like, he's really not doing much for me. So I'm only using a few at this point. Like, I'm not using all 6 slots religiously.
Gotcha.
So that's fine. I'll just let it happen and see what happens. But I remember we wanted to explore the Dark Cave once I had Flash. So I had to give Flash to someone, and I could only give it to Bellsprout. So I did.
Yeah,
I remember we were talking last season about giving HMs to characters that you don't, or Pokemon that you don't particularly like. I like Bellsprout, but he's the only one who could have had it, so I just gave it to him.
I mean, you can't unlearn it, I don't think, even from a certain NPC that lets you rearrange movement or moves for your Pokemon, because I believe HMs you can't remove, but yeah, I did the same thing. I caught a Bellsprout because Bellsprout wasn't on my team, but I was like, I need Flash. I wanted to at least see what the cave had, because I didn't fully remember, and I knew we wanted to talk about it, so I did the same thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It'll take up a move slot, but it's not... I don't necessarily use all 4 moves for Pokemon. So it's fine. I really like Bellsprout, so it is somewhat unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. Also, I go to a house in Violet City, and someone's trying to get me to trade my Bellsprout for an Onix. Sounds interesting, but I already got my Rock and Ground type in Geodude.
That's fair.
Who's both. And I'm like, honestly, I'm good. I'm pretty sure Onix is he flying in rock? Like, he's one of those combination types, right?
I think he's ground and rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that because I didn't want to catch a Geodude for the gym, you know? And I believe this is a mainstay. So there are certain NPCs in the Pokemon games where they allow you to get certain Pokemon, and you can only get them through trading with them. And it's cruel because it's like, if you trade, the Pokemon you receive has a nickname.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you can't get rid of that?
No.
Or can you?
You can't. So the
Can you just
Onix...
give the nickname of Onix?
No, because like the context of it is you're receiving this Pokemon from this other trainer, and they have an attachment to it, and it's not. It's like if you had a pet dog and you called it dog, you know, it's like you're gonna give it a name, you know.
Yeah.
So I have an Onix on my team right now, and his name is Rocky.
How do you feel about that?
It's fine. It made me think of obviously Balboa, and then
Yeah.
the SpongeBob Patrick's Rocky.
Oh, right.
So,
well, that's
fine.
cool. Onyx seems like a cool character, so maybe you lucked out in the end. But I head back into the Dark Cave, and I'm just kind of messing around. I already got I think it was a potion in the center, but I'm just kind of messing around. I can't really progress forward. I think I need either Surf or Strength, because there's some water there, and it looks like there's some like weak rocks that I can mess with. But basically, I'm just going around. I remember you mentioning that there's this super rare Pokemon that only has a 1% respawn rate. His name's Dunsparce. I wasn't actively going for it. I'm just kind of leveling up Bellsprout. It's getting to level 6. It's learning growth. Getting to level 7, level 8, level 9. And I'm like, I'll just do one more Pokemon. Bam, we got a Dunsparce.
That is incredible, Jack.
Dude, so you were saying it has a 1% respawn rate.
Yeah. I even looked it up. I double-checked after we finished the episode last week. I was like, somebody's probably going to correct me on this. I doubt it's 1%. And I looked up the Bulbapedia Dark Cave page and went down to spawns, Dunsparce, 1% in Crystal.
Oh. We got him, dude. So this is how it goes. I recorded some footage for this.
Wonderful.
I was so worried about this because I didn't want to harm this Dunsparce. I didn't want to like lose it. I was very cautious. So I sent out a Ghastly, who I think was probably one of my lowest levels. Didn't do anything. I used Hypnosis on this because I know you were mentioning that status effects are good for catching Pokemon. Excellent.
Good strategy.
Threw a Pokeball, excuse me. By the way, I only have 2.
Oh my god.
Yep. Didn't catch it. I was like, maybe I should have weakened it. And I also used that status effect with that Pokeball. But I couldn't with Ghastly. So, very nervous at this point. I only got that one Pokeball left. Throwing out Poliwag.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was going to say, dude, I would, for that exception, you're playing on an emulator. I feel like we'd all be okay if you did a save state.
Yeah. So, I throw out my Poliwag.
Yeah.
And I nervously use Bubble. It doesn't hurt that much. This is good. This is a good thing. Right?
Yes.
Now I only have one Pokeball. And I get him to low health, and I use Hypnosis on him. Alright? Seems like we're in a good place. Seems like we're in a very good place. I use my Pokeball, Christian. It didn't catch him.
Damn.
But, like where you were mentioning, I made a save state. I go back, I throw it, and I catch him.
Genius. Good job, dude.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you gave me the permission. I wouldn't want to cheat anyone out here, but I know that's super rare, so I maybe cheated the system, but come on, man. It's 1% chance of catching this thing or finding this thing. So
yeah, you want to talk about the outsiders, the Socs and the Greasers and the 1%, you know, it was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't put this in my party. It goes back to Bill's PC. Shout out to Bill. Also haven't even used this.
Okay.
I've gone through the gym. Haven't used it. I know you were mentioning that it wasn't the best Pokemon. I kind of caught it just because it was fun to catch a super rare Pokemon. Maybe I'll use it next episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's worth experimenting with. You know, early on, from memory, again, it has a great defense stat. So you could use that as like a tank thing. You know, like if you need a... Maybe your Quilava's running low, you know, throw Dunsparce out at full health, let it take a couple hits while you heal your Quilava. You know, I think for early game, that might be a good strategy and a good way to use Dunsparce, but it's worth experimenting with, I think.
Yeah, maybe I'll mess around.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the ruins of Alph?
Yeah, before we get to that, I want to say one more thing, though. There is another element introduced in this game that will show rare Pokemon, okay? And I will leave it at that. But if you come across a Pokemon in the wild and there's something off to you, they should try to like make it pretty clear, okay? I think you will come... I don't want to say anything more than that, but...
Okay.
If anything like that occurs, no matter what it is, I would recommend trying to catch it.
Okay, nothing comes to mind about Dunsparce popping up. Like anything special. Maybe I missed it. I was honestly just freaking out, dude.
I bet.
Remember when Tim Geddes threw his hat and destroyed Andy Cortez's laptop?
Yeah.
When something was announced, I think Crash maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was happening. I didn't
Okay.
destroy any laptops, but
All right. So,
I was literally freaking out.
oh, I bet.
Regardless, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Maybe a special thing. I've noticed when I'm in the wild and I'm fighting like wild Pokemon in grassy areas or in caves, there's like a little Pokeball symbol, I think, below them on like the bottom left. Is that what it is? Is a Pokeball symbol? Have you noticed that?
Huh. I mean, I think they might have done this in Red and Blue, but if there's a Pokemon you encounter in the wild that you have, they will give a Pokeball icon next to the Pokemon you're encountering in the wild to symbolize you have it.
I see. Even like not even in my party, like maybe even in Bill's PC.
Yeah, in the PC, anything.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good to know. Like,
Yeah.
especially like if you're trying to catch like all 150, like, do I have this one? So it's cool.
Mhm.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ruins of Alph, Christian. I go there. I'm like, this is really somewhat interesting. The music's spooky. Everyone's talking about all these drawings on the walls that like may have something to do with what's going on here. There's like this little mini game where you can like match up you have all these tiles and you match up to form this ancient Pokemon. I do that. I go into this extra room with all these unknown Pokemons,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really get it. That's really as far as I got, and I don't really know what to do at this point. Do you have any maybe insight?
Did you notice anything about the unknown?
I know that they correlate. Some of them correlated with the images on the wall.
Did you notice anything specifically about the shape of the unknown, or like the number of variants, maybe?
No, not really.
I can tell you there are 26 variants of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a guess of what that might correlate to in the ruins
Types?
of Alph? No, they're all the same type.
Alphabet.
Yeah. And
God
they're all
damn it.
They're all shaped like letters.
God damn it.
Isn't that neat?
Pokemon. Sure. What does that do?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. I hate it. It's so stupid. Unless there's some unless there's some crazy secret that is like in the meta, you know, if this is some Lavender Town secret that got cut in development, I'm pretty sure this means absolutely nothing.
So if I go to the research station and like there's like a PC that's like, oh, this isn't really working yet, do I like catch them all and then like maybe go to the PC and be like, oh, you've solved the mystery, or is that it? Like, have I 100%ed it? Have I missed something?
To be honest, I think unless I missed something too, you know, in any attempt I've had at playing through this game and Soul Silver, pretty sure you got the gist of it.
Dude, that sucks.
I know.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, and again, listeners, if I'm missing out on something, please, we will read it at the top of the show, but I'm pretty sure they got nothing here.
Man, I honestly like spent a good amount of time there. Like, maybe close to an hour messing around with it.
Because you would think, like, especially after Sprout Tower, when they introduce another thing like this, and it's like, oh, this is very unique. There's no gyms associated here, so what is this? Is this like a puzzle? Is there a secret Pokemon spawn here? We've already dealt with a 1% spawn. We've already dealt with the side quest. What is this?
Yeah.
And it's nothing.
Yeah, and at a certain point here, I deposit my Ghastly because he's really not doing much for me, and I take out the unknown, and I go back to Alph, and I was like maybe trying to show the researchers like, hey, I caught one of these things, but nothing really happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go back to Alph, and something's happening, Christian. This egg has hatched.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my dude Togepi from the anime.
Yeah, man.
That thing's so cute.
Yeah, Togepi's great.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
It's really cute. I noticed that it's a normal type. Is it also a certain other type?
So again, could be wrong here, but I believe in future games it is also assigned the fairy type.
Okay. But not in this gen. Right now it's just normal.
Right. Fairy was introduced in Gen 6, so, like, retroactively they put it on that Togepi, I think.
Okay. I feel like normal types are kind of useless. Am I wrong there?
Not really.
Okay.
But there are certain instances, like you noticed Ghastly could do nothing to Dunsparce.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost moves cannot affect normal type.
Isn't it vice versa as well, though? Normal
Yes.
can't affect. Okay.
So
So it's just kind of a standstill then.
Yeah, and it's like it's not strong against anything, but it's not necessarily weak against anything, so it's kind of like a master of none situation, but
I see.
I think if there's a normal type that really stands out to you and you want to invest in it, it's not a bad idea. You know, like Snorlax was a normal type and Snorlax was a tank.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Togepi seems super cute to me, and that's kind of as far as it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I like the idea of having certain types, and normal just doesn't really seem to do it for me.
Have you messed around with Togepi at all in battle?
No.
So I believe it knows Metronome, or that's the first move it will learn. Metronome is interesting because it is a move that is random every time. So you use Metronome, and it pulls, I believe, from every single move in the game.
Interesting. So if I'm like facing a fire type,
Mm-hmm.
potentially it could throw out a water move.
Yeah, like Hydro Pump is a potential.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a gamble though, and if you know one thing about me, it's that I'm not a gambling man.
You're not.
So no thanks. But that's an interesting addition. I just wouldn't mess with that personally.
Yeah.
But this happens, and I was told to call Elm, so I do. So I head all the way back to Elm. And then he realizes Pokemon are born from eggs. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Uh-huh.
Maybe this professor, I guess this 10-year-old child had to teach him that. But he's saying also maybe not all of them are born from eggs. Maybe some of them are born from procreation. Just a thought, Professor Elm. Just a thought. And he also gives me an Everstone. Now this is fascinating to me, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from my understanding, and they explain it this way, if you give a Pokemon an Everstone, they will never evolve.
Yes.
So, if you have a preference of a look for a Pokemon, you give it to a Pokemon and they don't evolve.
Essentially, yes.
Is there only one in the game?
That's a good question. I think at this point, yes. I think in Gen 2, they only give you one.
Wow.
So
this seems like it would be used for maybe your starter, or like the one that you really like.
Yeah, I think you got that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at this point though, like I already have my Quilava. I kind of like the idea of evolution. I like seeing them evolve.
Mm-hmm. There's
Do you use this at all?
No, not really, because like there's some Pokemon I like their base form the best. Like in in Shield, right? I have a Bulbasaur, and I eventually evolved it. Or here's a better example. My starter in Shield, right? I kind of didn't like any of the starters in Shield, but there was one clear one that was better than the rest, and it was Grookey. So I chose Grookey, and I saw his final form, and I was like, man, it's a lose-lose situation all around here. So I just kept Grookey the entire game, and rather than giving Grookey an Everstone, I gave him a item that boosts grass attacks, and every time he went to evolve, I just hit the B button and it cancels it.
Yeah, that's another technique that I was looking around somewhere. I don't know if this was either for this playthrough or for Gen 1 at some point, but yeah, if you just hit the B button, they don't evolve.
Right.
I feel like that's worrisome, like if you accidentally don't do that and they do evolve. But
Yeah.
I guess they give you enough time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The one Pokemon I can... Well, there's two. No, there's three. The three Pokemon I can think of giving this to, if I use them. Togepi and... what's the... Oh, Wooper. Those are super cute. But I don't think I'd ever use them.
So did you catch a Wooper?
I will eventually.
Gotcha.
But yes, super cute. And this is the one from the opening.
Yeah.
With Oak.
Yeah, good
cute.
call.
And the other one I can think of that I would use is Pikachu.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the case of Pikachu, you'll only evolve if you give it a Thunderstone.
Oh, that's true. I guess I wouldn't even have to use that.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that Thunderstone was used. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would never really use this thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a waste, especially in future games where they introduce items that will boost certain type of attacks. Like, an Everstone's great, but I don't mind pressing B,
Yeah, that's fine.
So.
It's, as long as you remember, I guess it's not that much of a hassle.
Yeah.
So I also, visit my mom. I collect some money from her.
Yeah, how's she doing?
And she's good. She's still watching The Outsiders. It's on repeat, dude. I have a question for you. Do you use the save money function in this game?
I do. I don't know what the benefit is. Because she'll buy stuff with your money. She'll be like, "Oh,
I didn't ask you to do that, Mom. Stop buying all your accessories, dude."
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I bought you this potion. I figured you could use it, or I bought you this polka doll. I figured it would be nice." Like, the thought that counts.
It's an action figure, Mom.
I said yes to let her do it because, if I'm being honest, I feel like I don't care about my money in Pokemon ever. It feels like if I need some, I have some.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like like what you're saying. It doesn't seem like there's a massive benefit to it. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it. I've continued doing it. I was sort of weighing my options because it doesn't seem like she's investing. It's not like you're giving her money and you're getting more back.
Yeah.
She's just kind of taking. I don't know the breakdown. Is it half maybe that she takes from battle or a certain percent?
I think
she just kind of keeps that.
I think so, but I do think a potential benefit could be, how if you lose a fight, you have to pay out a reward? I think how in Gen 1, I think it was half your money in Gen 1. I think here it's half of what's on you.
Oh, that's good to know. So, if you're only carrying a little bit and you're giving the rest to your mom.
I think that might be the benefit.
That's cool.
So.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Half. That's a lot. So, I guess I'll keep doing that.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm heading through Route 32 now, making my way through all the fishermen, and they got all these water types, and I got my Bellsprout.
Yeah.
And Bellsprout, grass type, also I think poison type, very good against water. So I'm just messing through these guys. There's not a lot to talk about here. I'm mostly just going through these fishermen.
Was there any cool Pokemon that stood out to you they had?
Yes. Goldeen actually kind of messed me up. Blacked out Bellsprout with Peck.
Damn.
Peck did some business, yeah.
Well, yeah, because Peck is a flying type attack, and flying is strong over grass, so...
Yep. Yeah, Goldeen is probably, water and flying? One of those mixtures?
Maybe. Sometimes... It's weird, because sometimes there's Pokemon that can learn moves, but they're not necessarily that type as well. So I don't think Goldeen is a flying type half. So
yeah, but yeah, they kind of mess up Bellsprout. This is the point where I see Wooper. I don't catch him yet, but I think someone throws him out. Super cute. I like that thing. It's also stupid looking.
Yeah, Wooper.
I really like.
Yeah, I like Wooper's design too, and I'll say this. If you don't want to evolve, I don't blame you. Knowing what that thing turns into, I don't blame you.
No. What do we got? What's it look like?
Kind of ugly. It's like a blue blob with a big dumb face.
Do you know the meme of the super buff dog?
Yes.
It's like a cartoon. That's what I imagine super cute Pokemon turning into bad evolutions.
Yeah, there's not many, but when it is a bad evolution, it's bad. Its name is Quagsire.
No, dude, no.
And it's a big dopey platypus. I hate it. I hate that thing. Wooper's great, but I hate Quagsire.
Dude, Wooper's super cute. I'm considering using Wooper.
I don't blame you. You need a water type.
Yeah, I mean, I have Poliwag. Poliwag's been doing some business.
Yeah, but old Pokemon, dude. Old Pokemon's old.
That's true, dude. That's true. That's a good point. That's a great lead-in, Christian. You're very good with your lead-ins. Even though this one wasn't even intentional.
Yeah.
An observation I had. I feel like there aren't that many new Pokemon. Can you give me the breakdown? Like, how many did they add for Gen 2? Because I haven't really come across too many.
So I'll tell you, just so you don't lose hope, because that's that's my thing with Gen 2 that I don't like about it. I feel like as much as I love Gen 1, it overshadows Gen 2 so much. There are 100 new Pokemon in this game.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's almost... So it's 150 from Gen 1, 151, right? So, wow, that's almost there. I don't know the math on that. I'm a simple communication major, so I can't really do that in my head, but it seems like we're getting there. So that's a significant amount.
Yeah, and granted, you have to account for same thing with Gen 1. There were legendaries in this number of 100. There are new evolutions to some Pokemon, like Zubat has a new evolution now.
Oh, and that counts. That counts as a new Pokemon. Okay.
The baby Pokemon that have been added, Pichu counts. So like there's that level of it as well. And the Pokemon that are new, like Wooper, Wooper and Quagsire both take up 2 of the 100, so like evolutions count, most Pokemon have 3 evolutions. Dunsparce is only a 1, so like it's a mix of how much it feels like is new, but there's 100 new Pokemon in this game.
Wow, that's a ton. That's a ton.
Yeah.
Now, I was saying I want to use the Wooper, but I'm also debating between another water type.
Let's hear it.
So I go to Union Cave, Christian. And I guess let me give you my... Oh, excuse me. I go to Union Cave and I catch a Wooper. Hooray, yes, it's all well and good. And then I also catch a level 10 Magikarp. And I know what Magikarp turns into. Right now he's dead useless. He's got Splash. It is honestly just a slap in the face to Pokemon players internationally. The Splash doesn't do anything. It's like it's purposely takes away a move. It's like kind of negatively affects you anything. You try and use Splash, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
But I know the dude Gyarados is super cool.
Yes.
So considering doing Gyarados, I've been putting Magikarp at the top of my party, trying to get some XP.
I don't blame you, because Gyarados is cool. But what if I told you, eventually there's a place where you can catch a Gyarados?
No way.
Yes, so you could, I think it might be worth investing in Wooper for now, see how things go. If you're not really feeling it, eventually you'll reach a point where you can catch a Gyarados in the wild.
Okay. Do you think I'll actually come across this?
1,000,000% yes.
Okay. Should I be using that old rod?
No, because the old rod only catches Magikarp.
Oh, true.
So.
Okay. Should I be exploring grassy areas?
For Gyarados? Nah, dude.
Okay.
Because remember when you got, in Gen 1 you got Swim? The ability? You'll come across Gyarados there. When you get the good or super rod, I think you can have a chance. But there is absolutely a point where you will undoubtedly come across a Gyarados in this game.
Okay, good to know. So I'm just going to destroy Magikarp. I don't need him anymore.
Have a nice, fish and chips for dinner.
Sure. No, he honestly probably has a lot of mercury in him. That's probably why he's useless. So I'm not going to eat him. I'm just going to discard him. Regardless, here's my current party at this point. Magikarp, he's leading the party, level 10. I feel like level 10 was pretty good, because from what I remember, I believe Gyarados comes at level 20, so he's halfway there. Level 10. Bellsprout is a level 12, Geodude is level 13, Poliwag is 12, and Quilava is level 14. So as you can see here, I'm sort of trying to keep them around similar levels.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. But at this point, I'm basically just exploring Union Cave. Poliwag learns Water Gun. Found a Great Ball, which is cool. This is my first time I found a Great Ball. Save that for later. Got some potion. I encounter a Vulpix from one of the fire breathers. But there's not that much to talk about. It's just a regular cave. There's some people in here.
Right.
I go to Route 32, though, on my way to Azalea Town. And there's this gentleman standing at this place called the Slowpoke Well. And he's saying like he's keeping guard and he's being this good Samaritan. It strikes me as a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get into Azalea Town and the place is on fire, dude. Everyone's talking about these missing Slowpoke. Where have they gone?
My heart hurts for them. As you know,
Slowpoke
is my favorite.
You're a big Slowpoke, dude. And
yeah.
they're missing all their Slowpoke. And it's a little scary. Oh, also earlier, Christian, I forgot to mention this. Someone stopped me and was asking me if I wanted to buy a Slowpoke tail for 1,000,000 Pokebucks.
Yeah, it's a delicacy apparently.
We're cutting off people's tails in this world?
Yeah, how do you feel about that? What is that like?
Not good.
No.
Not good, Christian.
No, it's not.
That's awful. That's really bad.
Yeah. Did you expect that to come across in the second Pokemon game? I think it's alluded to.
And poaching?
Yeah, I think something like that is alluded to in Gen 1, right? It's like, oh yeah, they might be eating each other or something like that. But straight up in this one, it's like, hey, you want a Slowpoke tail? Tastes great, man. Like, did you ever think that Pokemon in their sequel would be like, oh yeah, so we eat these things?
No, and honestly, it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
It makes me super sad. And we'll get to a point where we get into Slowpoke Cave proper, and what one of the Slowpoke has is heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And, oh man, it's really sad.
Yeah.
But, I didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. Yeah, so everyone's freaking out, and, someone is telling me that Kurt has custom Pokeballs.
Yes.
So I have to explore this. And someone's also blocking the gym, so I can't even go to the gym.
Right.
So, I go to Kurt's house. And homie's talking about Team Rocket. Now, is this like when the Empire goes away in Star Wars and the First Order comes back from the ashes? Are we seeing something similar?
It might
Has
be.
Team Rocket been biding its time until the time is right?
It might be. Maybe like Hydra, cut off one head, 2 more grow back.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So Kurt's talking about Team Rocket, and he's telling me that he's gonna give them a lesson in pain.
Oh yeah.
And man, I am on his side. I draw my sword and I'm like, I'm with you, bro. Mm-hmm. So we head to the Slowpoke Well, and he mentions that he tackles this dude who is guarding the Slowpoke Well down into the well.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressed.
Yeah, Kurt's
I'm very impressed by Kurt. Also, he's an older man.
Yeah.
He has a granddaughter. This dude fought in the Great Poke War.
Absolutely.
In my head, he was there with Lieutenant Surge. He was probably in the trenches. He was probably a grunt, but he was doing his due diligence in the Great Pokemon War. So I salute him. That's in my head canon. So
I'm with you. Champ.
Yeah, exactly. Team Rocket's down there, so I'm trying to mess with them, get them out of here.
How does that
cutting
feel to you?
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned later that, like, they were underground, and 3 years ago, Jack, aka Red, came through and defeated Giovanni as the final gym leader, and with him, Team Rocket. And seems like they disbanded, but apparently not. Seems like there's more cells of Team Rocket out there.
Yeah. What do you think of their sprites and like their teams that they're throwing out at you?
Yeah. Do they have like coughings and stuff like that, like the anime?
Yeah. Like again, you'll find that similar to Gen 1, they don't have much diversity in what they're throwing out. It's like, oh, okay, you're using the ones that are edgy and like are kind of boring, but you do you. So
here's a hypothetical. If I were a good Pokemon trainer and I used a coughing or like an Ekans or something that Team Rocket uses, right? Later iterations, would their sprites and would their characters look different than an evil Pokemon's? Like, would my Ekans look slightly happier than like a Team Rocket Ekans?
The little, isn't there a meme of like a snake that's like happy, like it's an actual real snake and it just has like a little smile?
Yeah.
No.
But I guess a happy snake?
No, unfortunately, no. That'd be sick, but we're not there yet.
Okay. Maybe, hold on, what generation are we on? What is Sword and Shield?
Gen 8.
What number? Alright. Okay.
So
Man, that's wild. I'm thinking of all the Pokemon games, and there's really only 8 main generations.
yeah. I'll say this. There's a Pokemon game on the GameCube, right, that I love. It's called Pokemon Colosseum. It is ignored. It is basically... Go ahead.
Is this the RPG one?
Yeah, it's a full-blown... It's a console RPG Pokemon game, but they don't let you catch like they do in the game. The gimmick in that is like, okay, it's a full RPG. You go town to town. You have a team. You have Pokemon battles. But the only Pokemon you can capture are Pokemon with corrupt hearts that have a dark aura around them. So that's kind of what you're going for, right? Of like evil Pokemon. You catch them, you cleanse them, and then they become your buddies.
That's so cool, actually.
That game is great, and it gets ignored as the first real Pokemon game on console.
Maybe we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, maybe we do a stream of that one night or something.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going through all these Team Rocket members. They're just super evil. Cutting off tails, man, that ain't cool. And I captured some gameplay. I'll send this to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're cutting tails off, and I go up to one of the Poliwags, and it has mail. And it's to Kurt's granddaughter. And I forgot to write the entire message down, but it was something like, I'm going away, but be good for your grandfather. Love, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sad, dude.
Yeah.
Where's this father going?
I don't know. Maybe they had to go get cigarettes. Maybe they had to go fight in a war. We don't know.
It's possible.
Pokerets?
Yeah, is this dude... Yeah. That's entirely possible. That's just so sad, and the fact that all their Slowpoke have been taken, stolen, and their tails have been cut off is just very sad.
Yeah, were you prepared for this level of, like, raw emotion out of this Game Boy RPG?
Dude, I was close to tears. It's so sad, man.
Was there anything in Red and Blue that was even close to this?
Not to my recollection.
Yeah. Like, Lavender Town was a little creepy, right?
Lavender Town was creepy, and I kind of wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
But
and like
nothing like heartfelt or like super sad.
Yeah, I think for you had sort of a retroactive heart wrench about the dead Raticate, but then you're like, I hate the Raticate, so
honestly,
I
yeah,
don't care.
Good riddance.
Yeah,
good riddance. But this is just super sad.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. I don't like it. But defeat them. Magically spawned back to Kurt's house, and he gives me a lure ball. And I have a question for you about this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a ball for Pokemon hooked on a rod.
Yes.
Does that mean I can only catch, if I'm using like the old rod, can I only catch like a Magikarp with this lure ball?
So the lure ball is, I think, the good thing to introduce this concept with, because so far, catching Pokemon with a rod is like the unique way to catch a Pokemon in Gen 1 and 2 so far. So here, and again, we learned about custom Pokeballs, you mentioned. This is the introduction of Pokeballs that, for certain circumstances, will have a better catch rate. So, if you use a rod, say you reel in a Wooper with a good rod, right? If you use the lure ball, you will have a better chance at catching that Wooper than you would if you just used a Pokeball or a Great Ball.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And there are other ones that'll...
That's a new added mechanic.
Yeah, that's brand new. And there are other balls in the game that have that type of catching buff, depending on the circumstances that you'll come across.
Okay.
So,
remind me again, how many... And right now we only have the regular Pokeballs. How many Pokeballs you keeping in your inventory, just in case?
like 20.
Oh, man. I have like 5.
Not now, but like consistently. Like when I can afford it, I usually keep 15 to 20 on me.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
15 to 20.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I don't really buy potions much.
I don't either.
So.
I'm one of those guys, Christian, that when I'm playing a game with like inventory management, I like to like have things and never use them.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And there was a really great meme where it was talking about The Last of Us, and it's like, so, it was the Captain America, like, sit down on a chair meme. It was like, so, you made it through all the game without using any materials. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like Mew in this game. But I like using Pokeballs because obviously you need to do that if you want to capture a Wooper.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Very nice.
So by this point, Team Rocket Dude guarding the gym. I assumed it was a Team Rocket Dude.
Yeah,
possibly.
you assume right.
Yeah. Because I defeat them and he's gone. So, has to be.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gone. And this gym leader is Leader Bugsy.
Yeah.
And they specialize in bug-type Pokemon.
Yeah. Jack, let me give a little prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you fly through this one.
Yeah, I committed some arson. in this gym.
Good job.
Yeah, it was relatively easy, and I was happy with the choice I made early on in the game for my starter.
Paying off.
So, yeah, I'll give you the rundown. I come across twins Amy and May. They had a Ladybug, which is basically a ladybug.
Yeah, Ladybug. What do you think of that?
It was cool looking.
Yeah.
I'm not a big bug guy in real life.
In real life, no.
So.
In Pokemon, it depends. Because there's some bug type that I love. Like,
Ladybug looks cute. Ladybug looked cute.
Yeah, Ladybug I think is a better one. You know, I feel like... I could be misremembering, but outside of Butterfree, I think Ladybug is a better bug Pokemon than anything in Gen 1.
Oh, that's cool.
So...
I don't think I ever got a Butterfree. Like, I don't think I went through the Metapod stage eventually to get to Butterfree.
You had a Beedrill, though, right?
Possibly?
For a while, I think.
Didn't I have a Beedrill?
I think you did. For a couple episodes, I think you had a Beedrill.
Okay. And is that Metapod?
That's
not in the Metapod evolution.
Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I mostly just don't mess with bug types. I feel like, I don't really do much. What are they strong against? Flying?
I think they might be strong against grass, because, like, bugs eat grass. I think they might be...
I can actually pull this up.
Yeah, they might be good against water, perhaps? I'm not sure.
Bug is strong against grass.
Nice.
Strong against psychic.
That's right, yes.
And strong against dark Pokemon. Have yet to encounter that. A dark Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm basically just setting fire to this whole place. First degree burns everywhere. It's really bad. One heading with Ember. They throw out a Spinarak. I have Magikarp. I'll remind you, like at the top of my party. So leveling up Magikarp. I found that Magikarp definitely takes longer because you don't have any active use with it. So you can't just win a battle with Magikarp and reap the full rewards. So it takes slower. And I also feel like in general it takes slower just with the XP gains. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it might just feel that way. You know, since like you have to go through the ordeal of like, okay, you're throwing them out, then you swap them out, and then that's throwing another thing out, and then it's like, okay, get to the fight, and then it's like Magikarp got a little bit of like, I never thought it was worth it, ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tedious.
Yeah. So, and what you were mentioning about Wooper, I feel more confident with just going all in because Wooper is just a cute little Pokemon. So
yeah,
I think we're gonna throw him at the top of the party and level him up as much as we can. Then we get to a bug catcher, Caterpie, Weedle, no problem. Then a bug catcher, Josh. He had a Paras and a he had a Paras and I leveled my Quilava to 16.
Sick.
Then a bug catcher, Benny, Weedle, Kakuna. I thought Christian. I guess I'm mistaken. I thought Kakuna was the Pokemon that I got from like a fossil, and then I took it down to that research station in Gen 1. I guess I'm wrong.
That was Kabuto.
Yes, that's who it is.
I get it. They're both brown. Well, they didn't have a color in Gen 1, but yeah, they have a similar look. They look like bugs, so I get it.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my confusion, but I guess not. I was like, oh man, these guys are using these super rare Pokemon? No,
Yeah.
just a random bug. Finally, we get to Leader Bugsy. She throws a Metapod. One hit with Ember.
Excellent.
Thanks, Quilava. Magikarp goes to level 14. She throws a Scyther.
Yeah.
Quilava. Yeah. Scyther looks, from my recollection, looks wild.
Yeah, Scyther is a Gen 1 Pokemon. I don't know... Do you remember seeing Scyther? Because I don't remember if Scyther is red or blue.
That's a good question. I don't remember in blue. Again, YouTube comments can let us know.
Yeah.
But I don't remember, because I remember this one caught me super off guard. I'm looking at it right now. That thing looks wild.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Scyther is another instance of a Gen 1 Pokemon that has an evolution now.
Oh, okay. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
Cool. What's its evolution? Or is that the evolution?
So Scyther's the base form, but...
Really? That looks like a super evolved Pokemon.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I love Scyther. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Scyther, if you give it an item and trade it, will evolve into Scyzor, which is a red... Looks like a red cyborg anthropomorphic bug warrior.
Whoa. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is.
That's very cool. But I don't really mess with bug types. But if I did, I might mess with these.
Yeah.
And then finally she throws out a Kakuna, and that's a one-hit baby. Get out of here.
I would be disappointed if you struggled in this gym.
Yeah. It was really no issue. I think I went back to the Pokemon Center before Leader Bugsy just in case. Because I like doing that. Like, I don't really want to waste, like, potions or anything. I don't mind, like, a trip, even if it's from, like a cave all the way back to a Pokemon Center. That's fine to me. I'd rather do that than lose items. Also, I can get my moves back, so I feel like it's worth it.
True. Because, like, for you specifically, especially if you're trying to upgrade your whole team to be consistent, like, the Pokemon you run into on the way back, like in a cave or something like that, it's just, like, yummy XP for them, you know? It's like...
Yep.
And I think that's smart because... I didn't tell you this, but when I did Sprout Tower, I had to reset my game because I only had 2 Pokemon on me. And when I reached the final battle, I obviously I didn't have a revive because of how early it is, but my Totodile was knocked out. And I think I had a Hoot Hoot, and my Hoot Hoot ran out of tackle. So I was just stuck in that fight. I could not do anything.
Oh, no.
So.
And you didn't have a save previous?
I did, but it was like 20 minutes beforehand, so I just had to run the whole thing again.
Wow.
So
that's wild. Yeah, I feel like early on you can get in that position. Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I went through Lady Bugsy. No real issue at all. Got the Hive Badge. I get Pokemon up to level 30. And finally, dude. Finally, I get Cut.
Yeah, you do.
I've been looking for this one. And here we are.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Cut. Again, it's a staple. It's going to help you a lot. I wanted to ask you, did you explored the ruins of Alph, right?
Right.
Did you ever go north and west out of that city?
Out of Violet City?
Yes.
Possibly?
Because
there's
a tree in the way that people said they tried cutting it and nothing happened.
Oh, that sounds familiar. So, does cut not work on that tree?
No, doesn't.
But it looks like it should.
Right.
So that's odd.
Yeah, I don't think you have to backtrack there. I think you'll just naturally come to that point eventually, like connecting a shortcut, you know, how cut helped you do that in the first game.
Right.
But something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'll mess around with that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that, to using cut, because I've come across a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Now, is that the point? I remember you saying in Gen 1, do I have to go through my inventory to select the Pokemon to use cut? Rather than just like go up to the tree and just hit a button?
I don't remember. So we're gonna both be in for it, but
yeah.
I know for sure you still have the option to go through, like go to Pokemon, select the Pokemon, and then use cut.
Yeah.
That is still in here as an option. So I don't know if they are at that point yet where they're like, you know what, we'll just give it to you if you hit A on the tree. So we'll see. But in terms of the HMs returning, like, we didn't really talk about it much with Flash, but how you feel about that? Because I know that was kind of a hold up we had in Red and Blue of like, that's kind of annoying. You have to take a move slot up for the Pokemon that's designated to be the HM person, but like, is it a huge disappointment for you that is here again? Like, what do you think of that?
I wish it didn't take up a move slot.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was just kind of added on, but I mean, it's fine for what it is.
Yeah.
I wish it was quicker to use, so you didn't have to go through menus. Also, I kind of wish, maybe you can let me know if this happens in further Pokemon. Like, I wish they kind of explained the moves better, especially the HMs. Like, especially if you're evolving a Pokemon, and it's like, hey, do you want to learn this move? It's going to have to take over another move, because you're already maxed out. I wish you got, like, maybe, like, a short little snippet of, like, gameplay. I can see this happening maybe in the 3D versions. Be like, this is what it's going to look like. These are the stats. Do you want to learn this? Same with HMs. Does that happen ever?
I can tell you we never get gameplay, but we do get more in-depth summaries. We get some stats. We get what type of attack it is. We get, like, numbers and how much PP it has. Like, they give you more detailed breakdowns, and they start doing the more detailed breakdowns for moves in Gen 3.
Cool. Yeah,
So.
I feel like that'd be a huge improvement for me. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, Gen 3. Sapphire, Emerald, Ruby.
Yeah,
Is that
Ruby and
correct?
Sapphire were the launch games, and then the GOTY version is Emerald.
My buddy Tim loves Emerald. That's his favorite.
Emerald's very good. So.
Yeah. So for next episode, I'm heading off to Ilex Forest, I believe. I looked at the town map, and then that's my next destination. So
Very
we'll
nice.
see. Yeah, I guess if you want to name my Pokemon, like, we'll have my starter or my party up on screen, and you can throw Wooper in there too, because I feel like I'm gonna be playing with Wooper.
Great.
So if anyone is generous enough to go to Patreon at the $2 level, you can name my Pokemon from there.
Yeah. And I vote that we can also, because we're a couple weeks in now, if you want, we can give Quilava an exemption here. But
That's if someone wants to name my Quilava, go for it.
all right, okay, you said it, not me.
Anything is fine. Starter even. You can name my starter the most atrocious thing if you want. Go for it.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm open to it.
pretty sure there's an NPC that will let you rename it in game eventually. But
Yes.
again, if somebody wants to name it, and they want to name Quilava Spicy or something, I don't know. We'll just call it Spicy from now on until you can rename it.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm all open for that.
But
Now,
go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
I was just gonna
Should
say.
we- Yeah, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, summarizing week 2, second badge. You feel like you're back in the rhythm yet?
Yeah, totally. I really enjoyed it. The only mishap and like thing I didn't really enjoy was the Ruins of Alph.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
kind
blame
of, it was just kind of nothing. But yeah, I liked going through it. I liked referring to the list. We were talking about in episode 1, where basically it was like the breakdown, what's weak against what's strong against what. It's good to have that, and it's helping me because I don't really, as I'm playing it, I don't really have to refer to it all that much, because I begin to understand, like, oh, rock is strong against X, Y, and Z, water strong against what, grass is strong against, you know. Once I've been, like, studying that list and that graph, I kind of have beginning to know it. Like, oh, this Pokemon is going to be weak against this, I'm going to throw this member out and destroy it. So, it's good. It's good. And I feel like I'm learning more now than I did with Gen 1, which is funny, because I didn't expect that.
Yeah, well,
Mostly with types.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of repetition, you know, because as the gens have gone on, you know, I had my infamous Pokemon break for a couple generations, but, like, by the time I hit Gen 4, I knew everything. I was like, yes, this against this against that, I knew it all. So, like, I think the more you play, you know, if you continue on in this series, by the time you hit Gen 4 or maybe, like, a recent release or a new release, you'll be pretty set, I think.
Yeah, it's super rewarding, so I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should we give the people maybe a challenge for a drawing, and maybe ourselves for a drawing next week, like maybe a topic to do.
Sure.
Maybe a scene to set.
So I think, again, doesn't have to be this. You know, it can be related to something from the show or whatever, or just a doodle of a Wooper if you want. I think an interesting thing could be something revolving around the Slowpoke cave, the Slowpoke well.
I was thinking that too, dude. I was thinking that too.
You know, I think we could get horrific. We could get like cartoony horror. We could get when I say cartoony horror, I'm saying more like some episodes of SpongeBob and like Ren and Stimpy or Courage, where it's like, ugh, you know, like.
Yeah.
So maybe something with the well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what about you? What's your head at?
That's exactly where my head was going, and I have a picture in my head. I'm not the artist, Christian.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get something real bad.
Okay.
But I got something in my head of what I want to do.
Okay.
So I think that's a good stopping point for this episode, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna cook up for next episode in terms of that drawing.
Absolutely. I still have to finish off a doodle for week 1, but that will be on the credits for this week's episode. So.
Sure. I haven't done anything for week 1, but I will definitely do the Slowpoke business because I think it'll be really funny to see what we cook up. I like this idea of like having like a baseline, like we're both going to be drawing something regarding similar topic.
Yeah, me too. It's a good idea. So
that's fun. So Christian, if people want to follow you, where can they do that?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris N. Buckley, as well as here on youtube.com/joyclicks. I host 2 podcasts on the channel, Jedi Knights with Mike Connors, our Star Wars podcast, doing a book club, just finished that, and Joyclicks Gamescast, of course, with Kevin Diaz, game news, game topics, games we're playing, as well as streams, group stuff, you know, you, me, Kevin, got Avengers coming up, that's probably already done, but open beta is the weekend after this episode, so we'll be live again, but yeah.
Awesome. You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at FascinatedJack. Yeah, like what Christian was saying, we're basically doing this weird summer of E3-ness. What this has taken over, Jeff Keighley's madness, some of it. And we're basically doing streams about news announcements regarding gaming, stuff like that. So yeah, you can follow that on youtube.com/joyclicks. Anything with Joyclicks, go watch it. I'll also shout out Jedi Knights. I've been listening faithfully, and it's an excellent Star Wars podcast. Huge fan.
Appreciate it. Wearing a Star Wars shirt today, so repping that.
Oh, awesome. I wore a Guinness shirt today, so representing alcohol.
Very nice.
But until next time, we'll catch you later.